Hello students, welcome back to CTET by Global Online channel. So you all are waiting for the notification, right? But till now there is no notification regarding the examination. But chances are that notification can be coming up in the next month, in the August month. And according to the notification, chances are there that examination may be go in the December. So we have chance in our hand to prepare ourselves better for the examination, and we are starting from today with this session. So in this session I am going to explain you the most important MCQs on paper 1 and paper 2 combinedly. Those MCQs will be covering your syllabus. Okay, so I suggest each and every students who are seriously preparing for the examination, please watch this video till the end. I will be explaining all the MCQs and explanation of these questions. Okay, a child learns honesty and punctuality from teacher. This is an example of informal learning, peer influence, moral socialization, or emotional bonding. So this is moral socialization where children is learning honesty and punctuality from the teacher. See, moral values like honesty, punctuality, respect are often taught by the teacher through instructions, right? And their own behavior, right? Teacher is not only the person who is giving instructions to the students and just students are just taking those instructions and following it. No, children's or students are observing teacher as well. Okay, they are just learning from the teacher how he behaves, how he communicate, how he speaks. Okay, those all things will be observed along with the instructions. Clear? So students, the teacher is very ideal person for the students. They learn all the things from the teacher when they are moving to the secondary socialization process, right? Okay, now teachers serve as a role model, especially in formal social settings. As I have said now, okay, teacher is the ideal person for the students. They observe the teacher, they observe all the behavior of the teacher, and they try to be like your teacher. Clear? Next question. The process of learning through structured activities and unstructured is called informal learning, primary socialization, formal socialization, or incidental learning. Okay, process of learning through structured activities and unstructured, sorry, instructions is called, it is formal socialization. So basically you're learning through the structured activities where you need to follow the rules. Clear? And where you don't need to follow the rules, that is called unstructured. Clear? Structured teaching in a school, workshop, institutions presents formal socialization. The learning is intentional and follows the rules and objectives for behavior, skills, and knowledge. So basically, when you are in a school, when you are in a workshop or institutions or in a company you are working, right? Where you will find out the secondary socialization, that means the structured socialization. Clear? Or which is called formal socialization as well. But this environment where you are learning and developing yourself, this environment having the structured activities, and when you do such activities you will be developing yourself with the formal socialization process. Clear? So structured activities and formal socialization both are similar. With agent of socialization primarily promotes cooperation and competition. Peers, parents, teachers, and religious leaders. Okay, which agent is this? This is peers, right? Peers group involves both cooperation and competition as well. Okay, children learn to balance these elements while forming friendship, making peer interaction vital for balanced social growth. Next, which is the effect of lack of socialization in early childhood? Strong memory, poor motor skills, delayed emotional and social development, and better academic skills. That is delayed emotional and social development. Okay, this is the effect of lack of socialization, basically in early childhood. Okay, delayed emotional and social development. Clear? See, the questions in the CTET examination are tricky. These are questions which will give you a chance to think on it and answer. Okay, like this question which was asked in the December 2024 examination. Okay, while participating in a sports competition in a class, Tanuj tells his friends that he will participate in the javelin throw and his sister can participate in the jump rope. Why? Because she is a girl and girls cannot throw javelin. Okay. This depicts gender constancy, gender equality, gender equity, and gender stereotyping. So this scenario is saying something about these options. Okay. So which is the correct option which is stating this situation? Basically, this Tanuj is saying, I am the boy and his sister is a girl. So both are having a different muscular power, right? So as a girl, she cannot throw javelin, and as a boy, I can do, right? So what is it? Is it gender constancy, equality, equity, or stereotyping? It is nothing but this stereotyping, gender stereotyping. Okay, see here why it is, because Tanuj believes that only boys should take part in the sports like javelin throw. Okay, and while girls should do something like a jump rope and all. This belief is not on ability, but it is on the idea of boys and girls are supposed to be different things. Okay, supposed to do different things, right? And that is because just because of gender. Getting it? And this kind of thinking is called gender stereotyping. That is why option 4 is correct one. Clear? Like it means assuming certain roles, qualities, or actions are meant for only for the boys, not for the girls, right? Without considering what each individual is actually good at or interested at. Getting it? For example, boys are strong, they have a muscular power, okay, and girls are delicate. Okay, this is the stereotype. Or sometimes we saying that girls should dance, boys should play football is type of stereotype. Clear? But in reality, what is happening? We all know that in real life, anyone can be strong, right? Anyone can do any activity, no matter their gender. Okay, what is matter? That person's skills, interest, and efforts. Okay, so stereotyping is what that differentiate things that is happening in this situation. Clear? Next question. While divergent thinking dot dot dot, convergent thinking dot dot dot. Options are both of the options are given, like two blank things are given in the question and the two answers are given in the one option. Okay, like first option is saying about the encourages multiple answer and second is there along with that is a fixed on the one correct solution, right? Second option is fixed on a one current solution, encourages multiple answers. Third, promotes mathematical abilities, promotes verbal abilities. And fourth, promote verbal abilities and promotes mathematical abilities. Okay, you can give your answer in the chat box as well. Okay, so right answer of this question is option 1, that is encourages multiple answers and is fixed on one correct solution. See, while divergent thinking involves generating many different ideas or solutions to a problem. Okay, it is a open-ended and encourages creativity as well. For example, we can say what are all the possibilities uses of a brick? Getting it? That is the divergent thinking. Or we can say there is no single correct answer. The goal is to think broadly and explore many options. That is divergent thinking. Okay, many different ideas and solutions can be happen. That is why multiple answers can happen in a divergent thinking. Along with that, convergent thinking is different, which focuses on finding the single best or correct answer to a problem. For example, solving a maths problem where there is only one right answer is given. Okay, only one answer is there. Okay, it involves logic and accuracy as well. That is the convergent thinking. So divergent is a vast, okay, and convergent is specific. Getting it? We can say divergent thinking encourages many possible answers, right? And convergent thinking focuses on a one correct answer, the best answer. That is why option 1 is correct. Second option is totally opposite to the first. Third one is little bit correct, but not totally correct. Getting it? As it is saying about uh, promotes mathematical abilities, getting it, and promotes verbal abilities. But divergent thinking is not a singular, right? It is a vast, it is a multiple answers. So mathematical abilities, that means a single solution. So that is why option third is not correct, and fourth is totally opposite to that. Clear? So option 1 is exactly correct answer. Next question: which of the following statement about inclusive education is not correct? Right? Option 1, inclusive teaching means teaching in a ways that do not exclude. Okay? Second, inclusive teaching means adopting pedagogies that supports needs of all learners. Third one, an inclusive classroom accommodates differences in a language styles and promotes collaboration. And fourth option, an inclusive classroom centers around fixed curricula and standard assessment. I know you may have confused about this. I'll explain it. Just try to answer in a chat box. So I will explain definitely. All right. So option 4 is correct. Okay. Option 4 is correct. What the question is asking? Okay. Focus on that first. It is asking about not correct. It is asking about the which of the statement is not correct about the inclusive education. Right? Inclusive education, that means ensures that there is no student is left out due to their background, ability or learning styles. That is called inclusive. Okay, so everyone should be including in that. That is inclusive education. So first statement, inclusive teaching means teaching in a ways that do not exclude. Obviously that is correct about inclusive education, right? It is saying about teaching in a way that do not exclude. That means the thing which is not excluding, which is not letting out anything, everything is included. Okay, that statement is talking about everything is included. That means it is not excluded. Getting it? So first statement is correct, but the question is asking which is not correct. First statement is correct. Inclusive teaching that ensures there is no student is left out due to their background, learning styles, ability and all. Second statement is also correct. It is talking inclusive teaching means adopting pedagogies that supports needs of all learners. Obviously, it is also including all the styles, all the students, okay, irrespective of their uh, different things. Okay, that is statement 2 is correct. It refers to using teaching methods that help every type of learner, right, including disabled, the language barriers, learning difficulties. Every student is adopted. Okay. Third, in inclusive classroom, accommodates differences in languages, styles, and promotes collaboration. That is also correct. This statement is also talking about the inclusion, right? An inclusive classroom respects diverse language, communication styles, and also encourages to learn more, right? Cooperate with everyone, irrespective of their differences. Clear? Only the fourth statement is not correct about the inclusive education. Okay, that is saying fixed curricula and standard assessment. This is not correct. Inclusive education does not rely on rigid curricula. Getting it? It is not fixed curricula. It is flexible. Always it is flexible. Okay, and one size fits all assessments. That is not happening. That is not happening in the uh, inclusive classroom. Okay, but instead we have flexibility, personalized learning, differentiated assessments, getting it, to meet the diverse students needs. So that is why the fourth option is not correct regarding to inclusive education. Clear? Next, this is statement based questions. Assertion and reason is given. Assertion is saying learners construct their own knowledge based on what they already know. Okay, and reason is saying finding patterns and making linkage with the previous knowledge helps learner to process information meaningfully. Okay, now you have to think and answer whether this both statement are correct or only one statement is correct. Okay, options are like A and R, assertion and reason, both are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Second option is talking about both are true, but R, the reason is not correct explanation of assertion. Okay, because in type of this question, this type of question is asking like a assertion is given and reason is given. That reason should be correctly explaining about the assertion. Okay, third option, A is true but R is false, and fourth option, A and R both are false. Okay, so what will be the correct answer of this question? So right answer is option 1. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. I'll explain you why. Okay. Learners construct their own knowledge based on what they already know. That is totally true. This is the foundation idea. Okay. We can say this foundation idea in constructivist learning theory. Okay. Where learners are more actively participated in the learning procedure. Okay. They are building knowledge using prior knowledge. Okay, based on their prior knowledge, the background. Okay, they are constructing their new knowledge, their new personality. Okay, new learning styles, right? So option one, assertion is totally correct. Reason is also totally correct, which is saying finding patterns and making linkage with the previous knowledge helps learner to process information meaningfully. Obviously, that one statement is talking about the correct statement, that related to the second statement, the reason. Okay, the first statement is talking, the assertion is talking learner construct their own knowledge based on what they have already know. That means their prior knowledge, and reason is already talking about the prior knowledge, which will help the learners to make their learning more flexible, linking new patterns, linking with the old pattern. Getting it? So that reason is describing about how meaningful learning occurs when new information is linked to the prior knowledge. Okay, so that is why both are true and R is correct explaining about the assertion. Next, similarly, same question is asked, like assertion and reason is there. Assertion is talking about childhood is experienced differently by children across cultures. Okay, and reason, children's development is universal. What it is? Option A, both are correct and reason is correct explanation of assertion. Option 2, both are correct but reason is not correct explanation of assertion. Third is A, true, matlab assertion is correct and reason is not correct. Or fourth option, both assertion and reason are not correct. Okay, so right answer of this question is option 3. Okay, assertion is correct but reason is not correct. Okay, assertion is correct, that is talking about the childhood is experienced differently by the children across cultures. Okay, the way children grow, okay, what they eat, what they have treated, okay, how they learn, what roles they have played. Okay, that varies, cultural culture to culture, that varies, that is a different style of cultures. Okay, that is why they grow differently. Clear? In some cultures children are expected to help with the work. That means they are practically growing. Getting it? And sometimes in other cultures they are protected and expected to focus on only schools. Getting it? So there is a different culture, there is a different style of growing the children, but the reason is not correct. Children's development is universal. That is not correct. That is totally different. Culture to culture, the growing style, the style of uh, growing the children is different. Okay, so reason is not correctly explaining about the assertion, that is saying everything or everywhere it is similar. That is not correct. It is not similar. Okay. Next question. According to the attribution theory of motivation, which of the following is more likely to result in persistent efforts and improved performance? Okay. 1. An internal attribution of success and external attribution of failure. 2. An external attribution for success and internal attribution for failure. 3. Internal attribution for failure as well as success. 4. External attribution for failure as well as success. Okay. Give your answer in the chat box. Okay, I'll give you answer. Right answer is option third, that is internal attribution of failure as well as success. Okay. Attribution theory of motivation, which is given by the Bernard Weiner. Correct. That is that he is explaining about how people interpret their successes and failures, right? And how these interpretations, like attributions we call it, affects their motivation and future behavior. Correct. And in that we have internal attribution and external attribution. Internal attribution is what, which causes, okay, within the person, like ability, efforts and all we call it, right? And external attribution causes are outside the person. That means luck, the difficulty of tasks. That is the thing. Okay. And in this question, the first, second and fourth is not correctly explained. Third is correctly explained, that is internal attribution for failure as well as success. Okay. This is the most productive one. How? When students believe that success will come from their own ability or efforts, they feel confident, obviously, right? And when they believe that failure happens because of things that they can control, like their own efforts, like low efforts, they are motivated to try harder next time. Getting it? So according to attribution theory of motivation, okay, which of the following is more likely to result in persistent efforts and improved performance? How it will reflect your performance, how it will reflect your success? That is the internal attributions, which will reflect directly. Clear? Next, which of the following is a key principle of progressive education? Standardized testing is the best way to measure students' learning, or students should be passive recipient of knowledge from their teacher. Learning should be based on the authentic task. Curriculum should be predetermined and universal. Okay. The right answer is option 3. Learning should be based on authentic task. Okay. See, the progressive education we call it is a educational philosophy that is developed and promoted by the thinkers. Okay. Like we can take a John Dewey there. Okay. It focuses on holistic development of education or learning, where the learner, okay, and active participation of a learner, we assume that over here. Okay. The critical thinking, the real world relevance is available in this progressive education. Okay, we call it. So according to that, the first, second and fourth options are not connecting with that. The third option, that is saying learning should be based on the authentic task, obviously, because the progressive education, that is related to the education which we have taken through the what we can say, the empirical things. Empirical, that means the practical things. Okay. So tasks which are actually in a practical way, that will help you out to learn better. Okay. This aligns with the core progressive education, that authentic task. Okay. Which encourages students to solve real life problems, meaningful projects. Clear? So that is the correct answer.